Send me to my grave.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm Gymkhanajosh, and welcome to Beyond the Apex, where we talk motorcycle everything and then some. Coming at you actually from San Diego, California still. I'll be out here until the end of August, but show must go on. Tonight, I have one of my good buddies with me, the man of Steele. I know that's so cliche. He's probably heard that 1,001 times, but my boy Brian, we used to work together. We used to ride together, and then he left me and moved to Georgia, and he's on to bigger and better things. And I think at one point in time, I actually heard him say that I was the entire reason that he got into track riding, and he just devotes all of his fun and enjoyment to me. So, I'm just out here inspiring people and changing lives across this great nation. But without further ado, over to my left and to your right, you'll see my boy Brian. Brian, what's up with you, man?
What's up, man? It's
Yes,
been a while.
It has been a while.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
First time on the show.
Yeah. First time, but maybe not the last time. Hopefully not the last time. But as I said in the beginning in the intro there, we rode together before. At the time, maybe you were interested in track riding, but you weren't avidly hitting the track. You weren't, up there.
I barely knew how to ride.
No, you could ride. When we were mentoring the other guys too. We had other guys interested in riding and like getting out there on bikes and whatnot. So like you knew enough and you had enough experience under your belt that you could at least like motivate and inspire some other people. So I mean, whatever it's worth, you weren't like a spring chicken. You weren't too fresh to it. But
Yeah, no.
right,
I didn't
right.
need training wheels.
You had just come off the training wheels when I met you, I think. But I know since that time period, have really started to expand your repertoire, your experience. Like I see pictures of you out there like hanging off your bike, dragging your knees around Road Atlanta, and you hit the mountains in Georgia. So I kind of wanted to catch up with you and get some feedback, because that's a part of the country that I don't frequent that often. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to hear about your adventures in riding since the last time we got to ride together. Kind of give the people at home that are watching, just give them kind of a rundown of like how these past couple years have gone for you, going from no track days to where you're at right now.
Well, I mean, I barely had, when I met you when we were in New York, I'd had that bike for not long. It was a sport touring bike. Nothing
Young.
crazy, nothing fancy. I said I wanted something
Yamaha,
chill for
right?
my first bike. And then, yeah, Yamaha Tracer 900. Didn't even have that bike for a year and bought a R6, 2006 R6. It was in good shape because I was more interested in the sport bike world, and I let some people kind of deter me away from it, saying it's uncomfortable, it's blah blah
There's
blah,
a little truth to
whatever.
that.
But I never was really interested in commuting on the bike. I was more not necessarily the mountains and the twisties, but the whole MotoGP, all that stuff appealed to me. But after New York, after you took me up to the mountains, it was Bear Mountain. We went up there a few times. That was dope. I was still learning what I could actually do on the bike. There's a couple times. I think I still have videos somewhere. Whereas, thank God there wasn't a car in the other lane. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, we got some video.
But when I came down here, traded that Tracer in for a 2014 R1, and I sold the R6 to my buddy, and not even 3 months after I sold him that bike, he took it to the track, showed me pictures, videos, and then like that, I sold him. He still has it. It's still his main track bike right now. It looks a little different, but after that, we went to the Moto America races in August, and then I was like, all right, we'll do a track day. Took the R1 that I had. Track day, it was good. You had some pictures, but I could see from my first track day to my last track day, which is about a year apart from Road Atlanta, my first time, and then this last time I was there. World of difference. But I crashed that R1 on the street shortly after that first track day. I haven't bought a road bike since.
Really?
I haven't had anything on the street. I'm not saying I don't want to street ride, but the track's a lot more appeal. I'm less likely to have a concrete wall on the track.
I mean, let's be honest though. Let's be honest. Was it
On the highway.
was it the highway that got you, or was it you that got you? Yeah.
No. Well, so there's a number of things. It's early in the morning. I was doing my normal commute to work. I've done it 100 times already. Like I knew exactly where I was going. Knew the road. Thought I knew the road.
It was an on-ramp,
It's the
man.
first
It was an
time in
on-ramp.
this temperature, wet surface, wet surface.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
I
use
know.
all the
We
excuses
all
I
do.
could think of. But it was like, I mean, I was going too fast. Well, not necessarily too fast. I just approached the corner all wrong. So I went from inside lane to outside lane to pass a truck that had cut me off. I was tired, didn't want to have any of that, but I was trying to go around him, and it transitioned. There was like an expansion joint transition to pavement to concrete, cold, wet. First time I'd been on the R6 in the cold on those tires. I guess I was used to that bike. I don't know. Well, I lost the front, and then the rest is on pictures. I wish I had a GoPro on that day, but actually, for insurance sake, well, I mean, insurance didn't really care. They didn't
I
ask.
paid for it.
But yeah, I got lucky, fractured shoulder, and too bad YouTube won't let me show road rash, but a bunch of
I
road
could probably
rash.
swing it. I could risk it.
But
But okay, so you made it
it's
through.
all that.
You made it through. I remember actually for a little while there, you were sending me pictures. You were sending me info from in the hospital, and yeah, that was probably a really messed up situation for you, and you really hadn't even, I guess, like cracked the seal on your track day experience. But like as soon as you got back on the bike, you started hitting it hard, right?
Yeah, I was limited. It wasn't even a month. It was barely a month after I crashed. I was in the hospital a few days. Then crashed in September. Went to a track day in South Carolina at Carolina Motorsports Park in October, end of October. And I mean, I was really tired, really sore. Like I could definitely tell I wasn't up to fully committing on the bike to do it. But I mean, I was doing what I could. But I've done a few. We did 5 days. We did a weekend, 2 days of Barber, and then the next time we went, we did 3 days in Barber in a row. So I was basically at that track 5 days in a row. So I was really getting comfortable,
I've
like
heard a lot
really
of
getting
good
used
things
to
about
all of
Barber,
it.
actually. I've
But
never been there, but
it's right. Barber and Road Land are expensive. They're the expensive tracks because they got all the nice facilities and all of the stuff. But they are. I think Barber's my favorite that I've been to so far. But it's good for having a 600 bike or even a smaller bike because there's no real crazy straights like Road Atlanta.
so actually, I want to back up a little bit. You said that like you're kind of feeling like maybe you want to get away from even having the road bike, or is it that you just haven't had it?
No, I'm not. I just financially and being smart doesn't really make sense to. I don't want it to commute. I was using. I had an R1 that I was commuting 30 miles one way on the highway
Yeah.
every day. It was kind of stupid, bad with tires, bad with it was hot. I was wearing all the good stuff. I wasn't out there in shorts
Sweating
and
it up.
flip flops. So yeah, those summer days get pretty hot.
Atlanta.
But I don't know. After I crashed, I mean, I rode that mountain a few times. That was still even before I'd really gotten comfortable with sport bike riding and track riding. But crashed a bike, and I just haven't been in a hurry to
Well,
get a
you
street
know
bike
what?
since.
Actually, it's. I mean, maybe you're early in your motorcycling life that you realize this, but a lot of the seasoned riders that I encounter, they feel the same way. Like, you know, I love riding a motorcycle, but danger of riding on the street just isn't worth the enjoyment that I might get out of it, and that the track is really hands down so much more enjoyable than anything I've experienced in the street. I'll say this though, people that are like avid mountain riders, maybe like Blood Mountain, you know, frequent riders, or people that go to the Tail of the Dragon, I could say I see that same sort of passion with them for street riding. But even then, they have the passion
Oh yeah,
about it.
oh yeah.
Not legit street riding though. It's like track experience on the street.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I mean, the group that we just went to Road Atlanta with the Blood Mountain Riders group, and went there with a couple of the guys that are basically there every weekend, if not some of them there every day, riding on that mountain. So they just live close enough. I did not live close enough, but this last track experience was the best we had because we had a group of I was probably I think on between Saturday and Sunday about 30, 40 different people that showed up, and everyone's avid on the mountain. They're always on the mountain and everything, and then a lot of them it was their first day at the track, first track day ever. They came down with it's a lot of camaraderie and stuff. Just the group, the whole whole
What's the name
atmosphere
of
is
the group that you're
awesome.
with? That you usually go with, or that you meet up with?
Uh, so I haven't met up with them since I haven't been on the street lately, but the Blood Mountain Riders,
Actually, you know what?
and it's it's close to the Dragon. I mean, you get to the Dragon from there, but it's really the closest
Hmm.
mountain riding here in Georgia
So,
for where I'm at.
not too long ago, maybe like 6 months ago, maybe a little bit more, we actually had on Brit Rap. She was a Blood Mountain rider. Um, I'm not sure how long exactly she was riding before her accident, but she had the unfortunate experience of having a low side and then like sliding off the road, hitting a barrier. I forgot the exact details of her accident.
Pretty
Yeah,
sure I know who
and so
you're talking
she's
about.
really just recently, after even like a year of being away from the mountain and just kind of getting her like confidence back on the bike, she just put out a video maybe like a week ago or 2 weeks ago about her going back to the mountain for the first time in a long time, and like that's some real courage right there. Blood Mountain sounds like a it sounds like
It's yeah, yeah. It's I mean, if you treat it right, you'll be okay. I mean, sometimes there's public roads you can't control. So
yeah. So what is your current like track bike? You said
it's a '07 GSXR 600 that I bought after I crashed my bike. I'd already bought a track day, crashed the bike I was gonna take, so I was kind of in a hurry. Find something else. I found somebody. It was an old Wera race bike. Ran. It's got 30,000 miles on it, but it works. So that's clapped out Suzuki right
the
now, but
Gixxer.
it's
I mean, you gonna
it
stick with that for
works.
a while, or you actually have plans of?
Um, my buddy, peer pressure. My buddy just got a 2021 R1 that he took to this track day at Road Atlanta, and all the electronics and all the technology. It's thing's freaking crazy compared to a 2007 Suzuki. It's but I do want. I'm comfortable right now. My pace, my skill level. The six.
You know, man, I totally feel you on that too. That's another reason why I ask is because when I met you, and actually for me too, I usually do stick to older bikes. I like older bikes. I like the style of older bikes. I like the idea of an older bike. But the more I've talked to people and the more track days that I go to, and I see like 2018 Ducatis and like 2020 Kawasaki ZX10Rs and even like the new 636s and 600s Gixxers or whatever. It's like, oh, traction control. Oh, stability control. Oh, launch control. Oh, you got advanced Olin suspension. You got all this different stuff.
Anti wheelie,
Yeah,
freaking.
and like all this stuff compounded together, it really, I don't know. I'm not competitively racing. I'm not going out there to race, obviously, but even for just
Right.
pure enjoyment,
I mean, if you
yeah,
got the money to
just for
throw
pure
at it,
enjoyment's sake, like you can be a little bit more willy nilly. You can kind of like let the bike uh, take control a little bit more, whereas you don't have to be so intense about like brake pressure and angles and all that stuff. I thought in the beginning,
yeah,
and I've told you this before too, when I first started going to the track after I moved back to the States and we first started kicking it, I told you actually that I liked older bikes because I liked the idea of personal skill and having me be in control versus having the bike in control. But honestly, man, in the end, now that I think about it, like just for pure fun factor, it really doesn't matter. I'm not out there trying to be.
these things are
Yeah,
so
it
crazy
doesn't
now.
even matter. And then like really, it would be a lot fun just to like be able to throw the bike into a turn and just have a little bit of faith that the bike is gonna do it for me.
Yeah, it's gonna fix whatever you
Yeah,
fuck up. You'll
I
be
know it's not
okay.
entirely like that. You can definitely wreck a new bike too, but I don't know.
Oh yeah. Well, my buddy did. He's got it on his YouTube channel. He low sided his R1 at turn 7 in Road Atlanta, but
Did you hear about my last wreck?
all it did was scratch it.
Did you see or hear about that?
Um, was it
Is
it was
my
your
street
track
bike?
bike, right?
I mean,
Oh, you
I
wrecked your
didn't
street
wreck it,
bike?
but I definitely
Oh,
made the stupid mistake of bringing it to the track. And yeah, session one, turn one, lap one, just low sided,
ugh.
right, just right on. Not a great look, but whatever. Lesson learned. I'm not the only one.
I, I've had a I've had a couple. Oh, I wouldn't really call them close calls. Like in the moment, they seem like close calls. And I go back and watch video, and it's like, all right. I've had a couple. Actually, when I had the R1, that was the only time on the track where I thought I was about to stuff it in turn one, but I was probably doing 115 miles an hour. Road Atlanta turn one's a very fast turn. But I haven't had the luxury of visiting the grass yet
When your
at a
bike
track.
gets tired, it
So
takes a nap. That's all I can say. It goes and it does its
yeah,
thing.
let's
Yeah.
go test out the air fence.
Actually, what's the next event for you? Where are you going next?
So we're looking October. I think we want to do NCM and Bowling Green, the Corvette Museum. I think that's what we
Wait.
want
Say
to
that
do
again.
next. We haven't been there. It's the National Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
That's a track or
So it's a track. It's a track. It's a museum. It's both. There's a museum. It's like kind of like Barber. Barber's got the vintage racing museum, everything on basically on the track. They're right there next to each other. NCM's the same way. So I know a lot of people say a lot of good things about that track. So we want to do something different because we've only done it Road Atlanta, CMP of South Carolina, and Barber in Alabama. I've only been to 3 tracks, multiple times, but only
and
3.
still, I was actually just talking to somebody the other day about this too, and that especially now that I've gotten involved with the track day like organization, I find myself like planning trips. What was it? So like March, I was in Florida, and then April, I go out in April. I was in New York, and then May, I was in. Long story short, I find myself spreading myself a little bit too thin. Actually, when I first started going to the track, I was going to New Jersey, so that was like my first foot in the door as far as like stateside track days. But yeah, from New Jersey, that was the one time I've been to New Jersey, and then after that, I've been in New York safety like 2 or 3 times, and then Florida, and I've been to where else? I know I've been some other places too. Oh yeah, that's right. I was in
Roebling.
Roebling
You
Road
were
in
Roebling.
Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah. You stay back. You stay
That's right.
stop by
That's
the
right.
house
That's right. That's the last time I
before you
saw
went
you
over there.
actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, I feel like I don't know. I don't want to keep going all these different places. In November, actually, I'm going down to Coda to Circuit of the Americas with Certified. That's gonna be a crazy experience. Yeah,
I want
it's
to go
gonna
to
be a
Coda.
crazy experience. But like,
That's
How much am I really gonna, as a like novice slash intermediate rider, how much am I really gonna get out of it? Except for just having like butt pucker the entire time I'm there for like 2 or 3 days.
let's see. So I felt like I adjusted to it pretty quick. Once I mean, I've ridden with Into and Sport Bike Track Time, only the organizations I've ridden with, and I don't really talk to the coaches much. I just kind of ride until they're like, "Hey, you're going a little faster. You're doing something kind of crazy," and which finally I'm in intermediate with both of them now. Finally, I was a novice for a little while, and I was starting to get fed up with the slow little parade laps and the hot pits. And but once you start getting comfortable with the track, and you just kind of have to hope that the person behind you is actually paying
Yeah,
attention, and you just have trust in everyone else around you that they're
that's kind
not
of how
going to
it
be an
goes though.
idiot.
But
But
honestly, I'll tell you this: like
yeah,
N2, for example, I started with N2, and I felt like my experience at New Jersey. New Jersey is actually where I went from novice to intermediate, and I actually felt like like as I'm bobbing and weaving through the pack and like being very careful and being very calculated at New Jersey, I felt I was leaps and bounds ahead of the people that I was there with for, it was like the season closer a couple of years ago. And then I get down to Georgia though,
Yeah. Well,
and
so what's your
Georgia, I kind of felt that same way in the morning, but then after lunch, day one, I felt like I was standing still compared to everybody else out there in intermediate. And I was like, I actually feel like I should not be in intermediate anymore. I want to go back down to novice. And then actually, it just so happened that that same weekend, day two on Sunday in the afternoon, almost maybe even like the second to last session, that's when I went down at Roebling because I started getting big balls and I was like, hold on, there's no way that I'm this far behind now after all this time. But I wasn't talking to coaches. I wasn't pulling anybody to the side like, hey, follow me. Can you lead me? Can you tell me what I'm doing wrong? I didn't do any of that. I didn't even talk to a coach that weekend. The only time they even like reached out to me was after I wrecked, and the guy that I had followed for one lap rode up and he's like, was that you that was following me for that lap? And I was like, yes. And he's like, what happened? I was like, I didn't make the turn. He's like, you should have leaned more. And I was like, I had my elbow on the ground, you know, I couldn't lean anymore, but he's like, you could have leaned some more. It's like, okay, well, I'm gonna just put my, I'm gonna put my bike back in the trailer now and go back to Virginia or wherever I was going. Actually, I was going back to New York, but yeah, so it could be different. I say all that to say that even with N2, or any organization, I feel like it just really depends on who you're there with that weekend, how many people there are, what track you're at, like what the locals kind of ride, what pace. So I don't know. Maybe I should go back to novice. I'm not sure, but
Well, so once I got used to, like, once I was familiar with the track, and then after being a novice, you get the different passing rules and everything. Like on Road Atlanta, there's 3 spots where they tell you can pass
only 3.
in novice, and they're not. Yeah, and then they want straightaway, so you have to be straight up and down, so straightaway basically. And I mean, Road Atlanta's got 3 pretty fast straightaways, but being on a 600, you could have somebody on a 1000. Doesn't matter how good they are. If they're on a straightaway, they're gonna fly by me, and they get stuck behind in the turns. But once I got to intermediate, it was a world of difference because everyone's going faster. I don't feel like I'm getting held up by people. I'm also not getting passed a lot. At least this last track day I wasn't. So I didn't feel like I wasn't the slowest guy out there at least. But it was definitely way better not having to check up going into corners, brake early, or just kind of because every now and then you get someone in front of you, just some crazy line, and you're watching out so you don't run into them or they don't run into you. But once you start moving up, I mean, intermediate, they call it the Thunderdome for a reason.
Yeah, I can see that too.
People that have been in there for a while and people that just got there. So it's
I can
crazy.
see that. And actually, most people say that intermediate's like the worst like group to be in because everybody's trying to show their like a pissing contest. Like I think I should be an expert, so I'm gonna push even harder. And I'm not as slow as these novice guys, so I'm not gonna go slow. It's like, nah.
Yeah, these people out here with lap timers on, and I'm over here just watching my GoPro footage, like going around a lap. It's like, okay, I went
like,
this fast.
It looks so cool. Yo, I don't know if you saw that either, but like I put the 360 sticking out the back for a couple laps on mine. This was after I went down on the street bike. But yo, it's so good. I can't wait to get back on the track actually and throw the damn 360 on there again.
I want to get some more camera stuff.
Actually, you had the how is that action cam? It's not the GoPro, but you got that like Akaso. Is that still working for you?
It works. It's somewhere in a bag. I took it with me last time. I just never put it on the bike. But I mean, the worst part is if you try to record in like 720p at 60 frames, it just sucks the battery down. I probably won't even get a whole session. I don't want battery with that thing. It was a $20 camera. Yeah, but I got I got a Hero 8 Black right now, and I'll get like 3 sessions out of that at 1080p at 60 frames at the super view angle. So
like the most information.
I got the stuff I got from the last track weekend. I haven't put up yet for on YouTube, but I don't think I put anything up.
Oh, I just noticed something actually. Do you have an Instagram?
Yeah, I don't use it.
I'm gonna do.
I mean, I could
Well,
probably
I
start.
was just gonna say what I
I'm gonna
just
do this
noticed
stuff.
right this moment is that underneath your video stream here, I got your name and then my girl Jessica's her Instagram. So it's like Brian Special K Racer, who is Jessica Klima, by the way. Jessica was on last week. Let me change that real quick.
Okay.
But actually, in post processing, I can put the blur over that or something. Let's see. Oh yeah, so you said you don't use your Instagram though?
Yeah, I don't have anything recent. I could probably start because right now I'm on YouTube and I mean I call it my YouTube, but I just throw random videos I don't want to save up there. I got
Oh,
all
really?
kinds of crap on there. It's nothing organized, nothing. Most of it's not even edited.
Dude, you should
Just
do it. You should do
there.
it because I'm one of those people too that even if I find like a completely raw, like unedited video on YouTube of some track that I'm interested in going to, or that I've been to, or that's near me that I might go to, I'm looking it up. Like I was looking up Roebling before I went to Roebling. I've been watching Coda videos like crazy.
That's all I was.
Like I want to see what Circuit of the Americas is gonna be like before I get there, and it's gonna be ridiculous. But
The fact that MotoGP
Yeah.
is coming back to Coda this year,
yeah,
that's gonna be wild.
yeah. Actually, it's right around the same time too. I think either they're gonna be there. Yeah, I was gonna say
I
either
think
they're
it's in
gonna be there the
October.
month before us or the
Before
month
or after you
yeah.
guys, yeah.
So that's kind of crazy. There might be some famous type sponsors or people around. That might be kind of cool.
Well, if you get there before the event, there might be some fast guys out there getting some extra practice in.
True. My thing is now I want to get up on the what's it called, like the jumbotron. Like I want my videos up on a big screen or like playing through all the little houses. That's my thing. I told Carlos the like the CEO of Certified Knee Draggers. I was like, yo, dude, like I want my videos on those big screens. I want them playing throughout the entire weekend. It's like we'll see what we could do. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna make it happen, even if even if I have to hack the system and just do it myself.
Yeah, that's I definitely want to do more. I guess I'm kind of like bare bones track riding right now.
Yeah.
I got what I got a suit, I got a bike, but I'm still on DOT tires. Next
Dude,
thing I gotta get
that's all you need.
get some
for
warmers.
fun days, for track days.
Yeah.
That's all you need. You don't need freaking slicks.
Oh yeah, that's.
I see you out there
haven't
killing it
pushed these
anyway. You
tires
got
fast.
DOT tires and you're out there killing it, so you don't need more than that right now.
So it's a lot of fun.
And actually, I love your helmet, by the way. I know. I mean, I got the Shoei X14 as well, but you got that damn special, the special decal, the Pull and Bear.
Where's that thing at? Where's that thing at? I got the hookup with this thing.
Yeah.
It's fucking sweet. I was looking for
That's not a cheap helmet.
a new. I got it on the cheaper hookup. Somebody ordered it, never came to pick it up, so I got it for less than that cost. Versus what I was about to pay
but
for
honestly,
an X14. I was looking at that or the Bell MIPS, the Bell Raystar helmets.
yeah, like carbon.
So I was looking
fiber
for
or something.
something that, yeah.
But even still, that
'Cause
helmet
I was looking at.
there, the
I mean,
X14,
I got a DOT one.
even at like half price, it's still double the price as a lot of people pay for a regular helmet.
It's the price I paid for a brand new GT Air.
Okay.
When that was my
Okay,
first
so
helmet.
yeah, it was about half price then.
But this was actually Snell rated and everything. Hopefully, I don't have to test that out. I'd rather not test it out.
True. Actually, I think I'm probably in the market for some new gear too, because like the helmet that I have been using at the track, it's still that same white X14, and I mean it's like the little fins on the back. Not to talk smack about like Shoei quality or the X14 quality, because it's all been my fault. Truth be told, that helmet, obviously, if you go back through some videos on my YouTube channel, you'll see I had one wreck in that helmet, but it was just like scraped on the chin area, so I didn't really I didn't feel like I really needed to scrap a damn $900 helmet or $800 helmet just to compensate for a little scrape. So
yeah,
but that and the little fin on the back, like I said, the Roebling Road wreck scraped the front of it,
yeah.
and then the little fin on the right side and the back came unpopped, like the little double-sided tape back there. But I'm like,
Like what? Like
Yeah,
these little
yeah.
guys?
You notice on the very end of it, like the very tip, it literally just has
Yeah.
double-sided tape under there. So it popped off, and sometimes when when the temperature's a little bit cooler, I guess the tape gives out again, and it just pops right off.
Bro, it starts
Yeah, yeah,
rattling.
it starts vibrating.
Ugh.
So I was gonna say it's probably about time for me to get some new gear, like a new helmet, and I actually kind of want to get another X14, but not really ready right now to drop the cash on
Plus,
it.
my excuse was Shoei is 5 years after you
Shelf
buy it,
life.
start wearing it. They recommend replacing it. Or 7 to 8 years after the production date
Okay.
when the helmet was made. So whichever comes first. So I mean, my first helmet, I'd had it for actually I think they're 3 to 4 years after I'm just wearing them, and I
Yeah,
dropped it
yeah,
a
yeah.
couple times, thinking it was in a good spot, and then it's
Shoot,
not in a good
dude,
spot.
you telling me, like,
But
I know, like, the little manufacturer's recommendations, like, if you drop it from a height of 3 feet or more, you should immediately replace it. Hell no, man. I just spent how much money on this helmet? Nah. I'm gonna use it as a decoration, a paperweight, a
it's good.
door
It's
stop, or
okay.
something.
It's okay.
I'll beat my kids with it or whatever. I'm gonna do something with it.
I know a lot of people say Bell. If you can send the helmet back to Bell, and they'll re-evaluate it. But they said 99% of the
Scrap it.
time they just send it back to you with a little paper saying you were saved by Bell. They tell you not
Right.
to use the helmet
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah.
Buy a new one. Ah,
I can see that.
uh,
Especially, I can understand that too. Actually, you can understand that too. Certain materials, carbon fiber, fiberglass, once it gets those, structural flaws in it, the little cracks here and there,
yeah,
it's just never going to be the same anyway. I can understand that, but it's just a high price to pay for a little bit of a flub.
yeah. That's however much you value your head.
What about your
So
suit? What suit you got right now?
it's a Alpine Stars. I got it over here too. Shoved in a corner because I forgot my hanger.
For those at home too, when I first met Brian and we were talking about track days, like I ordered stuff from Europe, I ordered stuff from Japan, and I was telling him about all the costs for all these different items. I kept riding his ass. I kept telling him, "Yo, dude, you got to get a suit, you got to get a helmet, you got to get some gloves, you got to get some boots." And he's like, it's a little bit too much. Like, I can't really do that." I think that was probably one of the number one reasons why we never rode track together when you were back up in New York.
I forgot what this one
Is
is.
that like is that
I
airbag
forgot what
camo too?
Yes, I don't have the airbag, but I can put the
That's
airbag
cool.
vest
That's
in
cool.
it. Which I'm thinking about doing. I want to do a chest protector, an actual
Right.
back protector next. It's one of my other safety
I
upgrades.
spent. Well, I'm not gonna say how much I spent, but I went and bought a custom made gymkhanajosh red and black suit, one piece for track use, and I
Oh,
had it down in Florida. I think that was the debut. I used it in Florida, and then literally I went down on the street bike. I tore a massive hole in like an area that I guess you really it
you catch something wrong, it doesn't matter
it
how well
was
the
in a
suit's made.
spot
But
right where there was like stretch fabric and not leather. So it totally burnt through the stretch fabric, melted it to my skin actually through the like my undersuit. And then
ow.
yeah, I at this point I don't even want to get that suit fixed. It's like it's done to me. I'm gonna write it off. I just want to completely get a different one. But
You'd be surprised some of these guys
yeah,
can
yeah,
fix those
actually, so
suits.
we got Heroic up in New York. Actually, it's right
Okay.
there in it's either Brooklyn or Manhattan, like the main Heroic facility. So I could take the suit to them and have him do it. But again, it's like, man, it's like I'm jaded now. I don't want to wear that suit anymore.
You got
Yeah, I
bad
like
taste
hanging on
in
the
your mouth.
wall.
So we have 1X here in Georgia, and they do a lot of suits for the local guys. But we get some of the Pakistani guys that'll make you a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
fancy Facebook
Dude,
suit
dude.
for
So we
cheap.
were talking about Instagram earlier. Like, since I started putting stuff on Instagram and getting a little bit of a following on my Instagram page, everybody and their mom who makes leather products of any kind, gloves, boots, suits, chaps, undies, whatever, they all want to hit me up and be like, "Hey, we can tell you're a motorcycle rider. Would you be interested in our leather apparel?" And I'm just like, it all looks the same, and I know the quality is like not there at all, but
Uh,
it's so common. It's so
yeah.
common. Actually, no bullshit. When we were kicking it together, and I got that gray barrack suit from, I mean, I know it came from Europe, from somewhere. That suit, a couple slides, a couple accidents, and it's still absolutely fine. It's completely perfect. I honestly wouldn't mind getting another barrack suit. I found that one on discount. It was like originally 1,200 or 1,300, and I got it for like 800. That's pretty fair for a suit that can stand up to like 2 or 3
Yeah.
clashes. That's cool with me. I can do that. I might just do that again, actually. And it's a style and colors that
Yeah.
most people can't find. Like, I've never seen a gray silver Alpine Star suit, period, ever.
I see a lot of people
Black,
just a plain
black
black,
and red,
but no colors.
black and neon,
Just
black and white.
black
That's
suit.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all you get.
I know the white on my suit makes me look fat. I mean, that
No, I'm
doesn't
gonna say
help that I'm
fat
actually
makes you look
fat,
fat, but.
but.
Oh shit, it's funny, man. Yeah, what's up?
I still fit in the suit though from when I
Actually,
bought it.
I feel a
So.
lot better now than I did even in the beginning. I don't. I think after COVID, actually, I went extra and just lost even more weight than I really needed to get back to where I was at. So I'm actually in pretty good shape now, but my suit is a little bit too big on me when I try it on now. So that's another reason why I probably got to get a new one. Because I don't have my fat suit and I'll have my post-COVID suit. Yeah.
Winter suit.
Just in case, I get some wiggle room. We'll get some wiggle room in there. I was actually thinking about doing the whole like airbag capable suit too, because airbags are becoming more readily available. Actually, certified, they actually have their own airbag vest as well. It's not internal, it's not to the suit, but it's just becoming more of a common item. Yeah,
Still works.
It's like a common item now, and they're not super expensive. So if you can get one, why not? See protection.
Yeah, I know the Alpine Stars. I think the internal ones that are made specifically for the certain suits. Those are probably the most expensive ones you can get.
Was it like
But
400?
I see there's a lot of people with the external ones. The last weekend I was there, pretty much I would see at least a few every session. People had them. So
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, what's up? What else has been up with you, man? Like, not necessarily in the riding world, but what's new with you?
well, not too much. I'm
You lost the
still
beard. I noticed that.
looking to buy a house. Well, yeah, I'm tired of maintaining it, man. My face gets super dried out, and it's like made it so hard to like. There's too much upkeep, so I just shave it off. I'm back to like
Really?
shaving every day, so it
Yeah.
just feels better.
You look younger.
And I just look like a homeless person if I have a beard.
I would say you look younger. You look employed.
Yeah, I'm bona fide.
You still keep in touch with anybody from back in the day?
Every now and then, I haven't talked to Coltrane in a while, but I talked to Bushy. I haven't talked to Matthews. It's been a little while since I've really talked to any of the guys
Actually,
from
I'm
up there.
gonna be moving.
I actually talked to Smith not too long
He's
ago.
out.
I think he was finally getting his stuff situated. He got all that
He's
BS
in
out of the
Cali
way.
now, actually. He's upstate. I don't know where
Yeah.
exactly. I'm in San Diego, but he reached out to me not too long ago and was saying like, hey, hit him up whenever I get a chance. So as soon as I get more comfortable here and get some time, I'll probably try and link up with him at some point. Actually, he bought.
Didn't you sell that ZX6 to? Who'd you
I
sell
sold
that
the
ZX6 to?
ZX6 to Justin Todd,
Okay.
and his ass. I love you, Justin, but
Does not need it.
God, he probably like dropped it in a parking spot 2 or 3 times, and then had a little issue where he made a low speed mess up, and the bike got out from under him, and then lost all the oil and made a big mess right near his house.
Oof.
And that was a bad thing. But like he replaced the pegs, he replaced the rear sets, and then he sold the bike. Got I think like $1,500 for it, which ain't bad. I sold it to him for like $2,000, so he at least got his feet wet with it. and then he bought a okay, so I'm not one to talk a lot of crap about people, but within the first year and a half to 2 years of riding, this dude has been down more times than like the most top rated. Like he goes down all the time, and he bought another ZX6. He bought a '07 ZX6, beautiful blue. Had little things here and there, but I think maybe like 3 weeks later, he was already smashing into the back of a car, going to the hospital, having like a concussion and broken, like fractured ankles, and just oh bueno.
It's too ill life
Yeah.
stuff for him.
No, that's one of those times that like I told him, and I'll tell anybody too. When you start riding, if you go your first year of riding, and you go down 3 times, 2 times, 4 times, 5 times, whatever number of times, there has to be a point where you start to like look in the mirror and be like, okay, what am I doing? Because there are people out there that ride for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and they never have an issue. So you got to think, what is it that I'm doing to cause this to happen? It's got to be something internal. Like either that, or you just got to be better about seeing that kind of crap happen, you know? I can't tell you how many times I've been in traffic and I've seen, like I feel it when somebody's about to cut me off or pull into my lane, or somebody's about to go across an intersection without stopping, or, you know, you just see it in people's eyes if you're looking at people's eyes, or I don't know, there's just like a certain sixth sense that you get after you ride for a while, but you gotta like be careful and ride slowly and learn these things before you can just go balls to the wall and smash into the back of people that pull out of the HOV lane, you know? How was it down there in Georgia, actually? How's it in Atlanta? Or not necessarily in Atlanta, but even your area.
So, I mean, when I was commuting every day on that bike, morning's cool. It's not sun's not all the way up yet. Traffic's not full tilt, but afternoons in the summer, it's like 95, high 80s, low 90s, stuck in gridlock traffic, not going anywhere. It's like Georgia's not a lane splitting state, and I didn't want to get crazy with it because I'd be the one guy that either gets a ticket or someone's gonna pull out in front of me trying to split lanes. So I mean, I just sit there and suck it up and sweat, and it's just that much better once I actually get open road to start going to get the air moving. But every day, it's pretty much every day I see people riding like crazies. Just like we'll be in gridlock traffic, none of the cars are moving, and then somebody riding the HOV lane, the line, doing like 60. It's like one person. I mean, no one pays attention to the double white lines. They cross over them all the time. I see it all the time. That's like, I mean, cool. You're moving, you're getting ahead of traffic, but all it takes is one guy that doesn't see you or doesn't care, and you're done.
And see, you recognize that though. Like at least I'm not gonna say that you're always gonna be able to save yourself in a sticky situation, but at least you recognize it now, so that it's something that you just keep in the back of your mind. You know, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people out there that just feel like I've gotten away with it for so long, I'm always gonna get away with it, and they don't even think about it anymore. I'm not saying that was what he did, but you gotta recognize some things that happen and just be prepared for it.
Yeah, I was always very aware of my riding. I mean, I screwed up one morning, crashed my bike, but
even then, you
no
can at least
fault
look
on my
back
own
at it and recognize a couple things that went wrong. And actually, that's another thing too. You know, I don't know what class it was that I took where they talked about this, but usually when accidents happen, whether it be just a rider by himself or even if other people are involved, you could look back at that situation. Hopefully, if you're not deceased, you can look back at this situation and realize, you know, like I did this, I should have done this, and I didn't do this. And all these things, just individually by themselves, if they were different, the entire situation could have been different. So like, at least you can look back and say, you know, like I was trying to pass a truck on a turn, and like I was going a little bit too fast, and my tires were cold, or like whatever. You know, there's certain things that just everything added together added up to learning experience and a lesson learned. You know.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, a little more patience that morning for me, and I would have been fine. It was Friday morning. I wanted to get to work. I didn't sleep well the night before, and
we heard the excuses.
I was just going through the motions. Yeah. I was on autopilot. Like I was just going until I wasn't. But
Actually,
it didn't scare me
that's
off
a
a
good
bike.
question. Actually,
But
I remember. Well, actually, I don't think we ever really talked about this before when we rode together. But autopilot on the bike, like, how do you feel about using the bike as kind of a like an escape or like a form of therapy or own time, Zen time? You know, do you ever do that with riding?
uh, when I was riding on the mountain, I mean, that was the whole appeal of it, the whole aspect of just getting out on there, nice cool mountains, twisties, everyone else riding, it's the whole group appeal. Everyone just chatting about the same thing. Everyone can relate to
Okay.
one thing, whatever it is. I mean, the motorcycle, the road,
So it was more of a
whatever it
social
is.
thing for you.
I mean, I don't get that. Yeah. So I mean, when I'm on the track, I do like the whole just trying to push it, see how I can better myself. I didn't really. I wasn't on the road. I wasn't on the road long enough, really, but I didn't want to. I wasn't there to. I wasn't trying to get a race license riding on public streets. That's not. Some people go up there and that's what they do. They want to go as fast as they can up and down the mountain. I didn't really have any interest in that. I mean, I was going faster than I should have
Yeah.
up and down the mountain, like pretty much everyone else. But it's it was definitely more of a recreational activity, more leisure, I guess, instead of a means of
Yeah. Okay.
transportation for me.
I teeter totter back and forth.
I sit in my car every day.
Did you ever do the headset thing? Did you ever get the
Uh,
music in your head while you're riding?
I did, and I crashed the
Uh,
helmet. So
yeah. See, I kind of went back and forth.
it actually ripped the battery
Oh
pack off
snap!
the helmet.
Sometimes I go out and I feel like it's an escape, and then I just want to have a soundtrack in my ears and just kind of zone out and go for a ride. But then I realize too that sometimes I'm like way too in touch with like the woods and the scenery and the music, and I'm not thinking about anything else, which is super dangerous. But I don't know. We all
Yeah,
gotta ride around rides, you know.
that's when I went up there. I mean, on the highway, I'd always have music blasted in my headset. But when I went up to the mountain, my buddy he had another Sena headset. And we'd pair up. But he's always crazy. Seth, he's day one to us going that mountain. He's just balls to the wall. After I don't know, not even 6 track days, he's an advanced, and he's insane. Like, he's just no fear. But I like I'd be like sitting there. The Sena's got decent range, even around the corner. But I'll be like going, he'll go ahead of me, and then all of a sudden it disconnects, and I'm like, well, he's way ahead of me now. And then I'll finally like I'll start going, and like he'll be at a stopping point. No, here it reconnects. I'm like, all right. So I mean that's kind of like I'm not going as fast as some of these people up here, but I wasn't trying to force it. Some people do force it, and that's usually when someone gets hurt. Multiple people get hurt. But I mean that's the whole. No matter where you're riding a bike, that that's always going to be there. Someone's going to
Somebody
get hurt.
faster too. There's always somebody faster.
Yes, there's always somebody faster. Unless you're Jay Gagne, then you're cheating. I don't know. This guy's fucking insane.
Right. It's
Uh,
probably we've been on here for about 50 minutes, so we should probably wrap up the recording at least. We can still bullshit for a little while after, but
all right.
before we shut it down, you got anybody out there that you want to send a shout out to that might be watching on YouTube? I'm gonna actually like send you the link and send you the information if you want to share it. But is there anybody out there you want to shout out, groups or peoples or
Okay.
whatever?
We got buddies we met with BTA Racing. They're part of the Blood Mountain group that I met up with last time at Road Atlanta. My buddy Seth, he's the one really, I guess, keeps pushing me into this. He keeps dragging me to the track. And so I'm looking at like how much it costs. He's like, no, just go. I'm like, okay. And the whole Blood Mountain group. I haven't been up there in a while, but the people that I did meet, there's all good people. So
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna close this out real quick. Don't go anywhere. Yo, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Please, below this video, there's a little subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification icon. Come back. Every Tuesday, I do this. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I'm in San Diego, 5 o'clock p.m. San Diego, California time. But yeah, I talk motorcycle everything, and who knows who we'll have on next week. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants while I'm out here. It's kind of weird actually because I don't really know how the internet connection works really. The whole like home studio setup is different, but I'm bringing it to the people. I'm bringing it to you. Like I said, I really appreciate you being here. And other than that, as I always say, leave this better than you found it.
Send me to my grave.
I'll tell you about this little lady in my life.
Send me
I guess
to
you could
my
call it a free
grave.
arrangement.